So today's lesson is from lesson 10, and we're going to be looking at tax and tip. So here we are in a city in Ohio. The sales tax rate is 7.25%. We're going to be completing this table to show the sales tax and the total price, including tax for each item. So this is a relatively simple task once we know how to, or since we now know how to find tax and tip and use those percentages wisely. So the first thing we want to do is, of course, take this percent and change it into a decimal to make our lives easier, because as we've been doing all along, when we go from left to right, we know that we're going to multiply. So we need to figure out what we're going to multiply by, and the best way to do that is to change this percentage into a decimal. So here we are, we have the percentage is set up like this, 7.25%. And in order to change that, we know that we move the decimal 2 places back, or 2 places to the left. So that's 2 places. And we have to put that 0 in for the placeholder. So that means that we've got 0.0, whoops, that is a crazy looking 0, 0.0 725. So we're going to take that 0.0725 and we're going to multiply each one of these is going to be multiplied by 0.0725 to give us our answers. So therefore the answers for each of these, use your handy dandy calculator, and you're going to have 8 times 0.725, and you should get 0.58, or of course that's 58 cents. Then to find the price including tax, what we're really looking at is the total, which means we're going to add both together. And that means $8 plus 58 cents is going to give us, of course, $8.58. Next one, we go right down to $22. We're going to do, again, use your calculator, 22 times 0.0725. That will be here, we're going to actually bring this down here. If we multiply those together, we actually get 1.595, and we are dealing with money, so it has to end in that place. So we look at the 5, if it's equal to or greater than 5, we know that this has to go up, but in order to make 59 go up, because it's a 9, it's actually going to become 160. So therefore it's $1.60. And then when we add those together, we're going to get $23.60 as our answer. Next one, we again carry on with our calculator. We're going to multiply 1450 or 14.50 times 0.0725. And you actually get another number that has more decimal places than we want. We get 1.5125. Again, we know that it's money, so it has to end in this place. We look at the 1. The 1 is less than 5, so therefore we round down, and it becomes $1.05. So the sales tax is $1.05. We add that to the $14.50, and we get $15.55. Now we've got the sales tax rate in New Mexico is 5.125%. We're going to select all the equations that represent the sales tax T that we would pay in New Mexico for an item cost of C. Okay, so again, like we've been doing in this entire lesson, we're going to take that percent, which right now is 5.125, and to change it to a decimal, we take, decimal, we move the decimal back 2 places, or to the left 2 places. So we're going to go here, we need a placeholder of a 0. So therefore that percent is going to equal, well, we can put the 0 in the front if we want, don't have to, 0.05125. Now, we know that we multiply our percent is always going to be multiplied times the cost, and that's how we find the tax. So to put that into these terms, that means we're going to have T equals 0.05125 times C, which is the cost. So do any of these look like this? Well, the first one, A, T equals 5, well, 5 times C. We know that's going to be far too large, so A does not work. Next one, T equals 0.5. I'm going to stop right there. That actually means 50%, which is not. We've already made it into a decimal, so we know this one isn't correct. The next one, we've got T equals 0.05125C. That's exactly what we have, so we know that C is correct. D, T equals C divided by that number we found. Well, we know we multiply. That doesn't make any sense. This one, T equals 5.125 divided by 100. Well, remember, or over 100, however you want to look at it, remember that when we divide by 100, we look at the fact that there's 2 zeros there, and that means we move the decimal back 2 places, so this one actually works as well. Here are the prices of some items and the amount of sales tax charged in each in Nevada. Okay, they're asking us what the sales tax rate is in Nevada, or Nevada, I don't know. So we know this time we're looking for that constant of proportionality, which in this case is the tax rate. So we're given these two numbers. I don't know what multiplied 10 times by to get to 0.46. I know in this direction, from right to left, we always divide. So if I take that 0.46 and I divide it by 10, 10 has 1 0. We did this quite a while ago, multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. So I count the number of zeros. There's 1 0. That means that this decimal, when I divide, it goes in the opposite direction as when I multiply, so it's going therefore to the right 1 place because there's 1 0. So that I start with 0.46. I move that decimal 1 place to the right. That's going to equal 4.6. So therefore, my constant of proportionality, or in this case, the sales tax percent rate, is 4.6%. Write an expression. So remember, an expression does not have an equal sign. We don't have to write an equation like we did in the last problem. We're writing instead an expression for the amount of sales tax charged on an item that costs C dollars. Okay, so this is just like the last problem, in that we're going to take that. Now this is the percent, remember. To change a percent to a decimal, we move the decimal back 2 places. So that would give us 0.046. That's the percent seen as a decimal. So in this case, I'd have 0.046 multiplied times the cost C. Next, we're going to find each amount. 3.8% of 25, 0.2% of 50, and 180.5% of 99. Okay. Well, you know what? In this case, I prefer to go right back to my percentage proportion, which remember we always have our is, or the part. over the of, which is the whole thing, and that's equal to the percent over 100. Because these are just, straightforward percentage problems. So my preference, and, probably yours, is that in order to really see it straightforward, I'm going to set up a proportion for each and every one. So let's look at the first one. It's 3.8% of 25. So I know here's my proportion of 25. Of goes on the bottom, on the left. That's 25. I've always got 100 down here. 3.8%. Well, that's the percent. It's going to go right here. I put an X here. That's what's missing. I know the next thing I'm going to do is cross multiply. So I'm going to have these two things times each other. You probably have already seen the concept of proportionality, but just to keep things consistent, I'm going to do these the same way each time. So we've got 100 times X equals 25 times 3.8. 100 times X is 100X. That's equal to, grab your calculator, 25 times 3.8 is 95. I'm going to then divide both sides. I say, what's the opposite of times 100? You, of course, know that that's divide by 100. So both sides get divided by 100. These 100s cancel. 100 divided by 100 is 1. So that means they cancel each other out. I'm left with X equals 95 divided by 100. You can use your calculator. You've already got it out. Or you should know that there's 2 zeros. Therefore, that decimal gets moved back 2 places. So the answer is going to be 0.95. Okay, next problem. Like I said, with these, just because they're so straightforward, I really like using my proportion percentage finding proportion. Proportion finding Anyway, I'm going to use my percentage proportion. So they're giving me the percent and the whole. So here's my 2 of 50 on the bottom. The percent is 0.2, always out of 100. This is what I don't know. I'm going to cross multiply. So I then have 100 times X equals 50 times 0.2. 100 times X is 100X. 50 times 0.2 is equal to 10. I'm going to divide both sides by 100. These cancel. I'm left with X equals 10 divided by 100. That's 1/10. Those 2 zeros are going to cancel here. Don't forget. I'm left with 1 over 10, or in its decimal form, 1/10 looks like this. 0.1. Okay, 1 to go for this one. So I'm going to carry on right like I was doing. Got my of 99. That's going to go on the bottom. 180%. 180.5%. My percent is always out of 100, and I should understand that 180.5% is larger than 100, so my answer is going to be larger than 99. I am going to be cross-multiplying, so I will then have 100 times X equals 99 times 180.5. I'm learning out of room over there. I'm sorry about that. So that's 100X equals 99 times 180.5 is 17,869.5. 5. I'm going to be dividing both sides by 100. These 100s cancel. My answer is dividing by 100, move the decimal back 2 places, of course, and my answer is going to be 178. See, it's larger than the original 99.695. And there we go. There's our 3 answers. All 3 of those in number 4. The last problem we're going to do. On Monday, the high was 60 degrees Fahrenheit. On Tuesday, the high was 18% more. How much did the high increase from Monday to Tuesday? So it was 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The high was 18% more. Now, how much did it increase? So we're looking for the 18% more. Not the new temperature, but the 18% more. So basically, what that means is that we're looking to find out what is 18% of 60. That's what we're looking for right here. So this problem looks just like the ones that we were just doing. So I'm just going to continue to set it up like that since we were just doing that. And so it's out of 60, so the 60 is going to go here. My percent is always out of 100, and we know that it went up 18%. The thing that we don't know is, of course, what part of 60 the 18% is going to be. So I'm going to be cross-multiplying. That is going to mean I'm going to have 100 times x equal to 60 times 18. 100 times x is 100x. That's equal to 60 times 18 is 1080. I'm going to divide both sides by 100. These two cancel. I'm left with x equals, that 100 means I move the decimal back 2 places, 10.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's your answer.